You know, some stories, they feel like they were written for the big screen. You've got the hero, an impossible obstacle, and this destiny that just feels inevitable. Well, this is one of those stories. This is the legend of Leo Messi. And it all kicks off with this simple, powerful truth. Way back in 1987, in Rosario, Argentina, a boy was born. And look, the world had no idea yet, but a script was already being written. A script for a life that would absolutely captivate billions of people. So our story begins right there, in Rosario. And we're talking about a boy who was small, quiet, really shy. I mean, in almost every single way, he was just an ordinary kid. But then, he'd find a football. And that's the moment everything changed. He just became something else. It was way more than just skill. It was this totally unique connection. It's like the ball didn't just follow him, it listened to him, as if it were literally part of his own body. But of course, every great story needs a conflict. So on the one hand, you had this pure, undeniable talent. I mean, we're talking magic, poetry in motion, a true gift. And on the other hand, a harsh, brutal reality, a medical condition that meant his body just wasn't going to grow. His dream was in danger of ending before it could even really start. And then came the moment that changed absolutely everything, the call to adventure, if you will. One club, FC Barcelona, they saw past the obstacle and saw the genius. And so, at just 13 years old, he and his family took this incredible, massive leap of faith. They crossed an entire ocean with pretty much nothing but hope in their pockets. And boy, did that leap of faith pay off. This is the part of the story where the boy starts to become a legend. Because at La Masia, Barcelona's legendary academy, they didn't just see a small kid from Argentina. No, they saw the entire future of football. I mean, the speed of his rise was just staggering. Think about it. He arrives as a boy, makes his official debut as a teenager on October 16, 2004. And then, just a few short years later, he's scoring one of the most iconic goals in history, a soaring header from the smallest guy on the field in the Champions League final. It's unbelievable. And from there, he went on to build an absolute dynasty. Look, it wasn't just about those single moments of magic anymore. This was about sustained, totally unprecedented dominance. He wasn't just a great player, he was the engine, the heartbeat of one of the greatest club teams ever put together. Then came the year 2012. And really, this one number, it says it all. 91. That is how many goals he scored in a single calendar year. 91! That record is so outrageous, so impossible, that people just stopped comparing him to other players. The conversation changed. They started comparing him to history itself. But, his story wasn't all glory. There was this one huge chapter, and it was filled with struggle. For his country, Argentina, he carried the hopes of an entire nation on his shoulders. And that weight, well, it turned out to be immense. He got so close. I mean, time and time again, leading Argentina right to the edge of glory, reaching that final stage where legends are supposed to be made, only to fall. Every time. The entire world saw him in tears. It's like that dream of lifting a trophy for his country was the one thing his magic just couldn't quite conjure. So the whole narrative started to shift. The doubters got louder. Maybe he just can't do it for Argentina, they'd say. But destiny was patient. The script was not finished yet. And all of this, it all builds to the story's climax. After all those years of struggle, our hero finally gets his shot at redemption. And it all kicked off in 2021. First up, the Copa America. He didn't have to be the lone hero anymore. He just needed to be the leader. And he was. He lifted that first trophy, and you could feel the relief all around the world. But destiny had one more chapter in store, the ultimate prize. And in 2022, he finally got his hands on the World Cup. You see, the Messi we saw at that World Cup, he was different. He wasn't that young, weaving magician from his early days. No, he had evolved. He'd become this wise king, a leader who played with a completely different kind of intelligence. He would conserve his energy, orchestrate the whole game, and then, boom, unleash his magic in the moments that mattered most. He played with this calm, deadly authority. He just wasn't going to be denied. And it all came down to this, the final, Argentina versus France. And it wasn't just a football match, was it?
It was pure cinema, an epic battle that people will talk about forever as one of the greatest finals ever played. And right at the center of it all was Messi, absolutely refusing to let this moment slip away.
So when that final whistle finally blew and he lifted that beautiful trophy, his story was complete. This final act is all about cementing that legacy, a legacy that is, well, truly written in gold.
I mean, just look at the numbers for a second. They're staggering. A record 8 Ballon d'Ors for the world's best player, 4 Champions Leagues, over 800 career goals. And then, finally, the one he wanted the most, the World Cup. On paper, it's easily one of the greatest careers the sport has ever and will ever see. But here's the thing. If you only focus on the numbers, you kind of miss the whole point of Lionel Messi. His real legacy is found in that feeling he gave us. That feeling when he had the ball at his feet. It was just pure art. It was beautiful. It was watching someone do the impossible over and over again. It was, plain and simple, magic. And so, that's the story. From a small, shy boy with a growth condition who crossed an ocean for a dream, became a legend, suffered devastating defeats, and rose one last time to become the undisputed king of the game.
Which really leaves us with just one final thought. For a player who has now won everything there is to win, what will we truly remember the most? Is it the incredible list of trophies he collected? Or is it that simple, unrepeatable joy he gave to millions of us every single time he touched the ball?